BT, everyone! This is Walk Like a Mailman, a show for carriers, but not just for carriers. Here are your hosts in the Southwest studio, Griffin, Walker, and in the Northwest studio, Jeffro, the MC. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Taylor, and we thank you for joining us. We are in the middle of peak season. This has been fun getting here today.
And we're trying some new things with the producing side of the show. So
Yes,
it's going to be a little rough for a couple weeks here.
Yeah, just in case it wasn't crazy enough as it is.
Yeah, we're also discussing possibly releasing the show later on in the week, but that won't be till later on.
Yeah, maybe season 3.
We're still talking about it.
Yes. Well, let's get to inaugural official WLAM roast.
Because we made it to episode 100.
100. Woo! Yes, fanfare. Yes, we made it to 100 episodes. I did not think that we would be able to survive that long. Well, I guess
We nearly haven't in some ways.
Yes. Yeah, and then we also have some a little bit of shout outs, but mostly this is just going to be us being roasted. And tonight's roast, or today's roast, depending on when you're listening, is set to be so extravagantly expressive. It smacks so many comparisons to it reminds me the tomato torture setup. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No. You talking to Chat GPT too much again, Jeff?
No, picture someone trapped in the wooden stocks where they got their hands and their head in the thing, and then the townspeople would walk by and pelt them with tomatoes and produce.
Okay. I'm starting to get the picture.
Yeah, it's. I think the whole idea and how it's evolved to the stand-up comedians and how they get the cartoon version of it is that they get the tomatoes thrown at them when they're not doing too good.
Yeah, I've seen that cliche.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's your favorite Fozzie Bear. Tomato. And Fozzie Bear has got to be the original, the prototype of the dad joke, right? That was kind of that was his kind of jokes when you would watch the Muppet Show. Obviously, he had to be a little bit cleaner and a little bit more sanitized. That was the whole idea, is that he had these jokes that were,
I thought the whole point of that they were bad jokes. And
yeah, they were
really bad punchlines.
They were really
say, waka, waka, waka.
Yeah, what kind of food do you take to the beach? A sandwich. Waka waka waka. And then they would get tomatoes thrown at them. But that's what it gets into my thought process as far as a roast goes. So we're kind of in the town square, and bring your eggs and your produce, and you can throw it at us. And the roast master general is AI. So I don't know. Did you know that's?
I thought you invited Abby Ice here. We're just gonna peel the curtain back all the way now.
No, it's AI. Did you know Jeff Ross's actual professional title? He lists it everywhere as the roast master general.
No.
Yeah, how did that take 100 episodes for us to bring that up? It's obviously,
I don't watch a lot of roasts.
Yeah, but it's a playoff of the postmaster general, but he's Jeff Ross, the king that does all of the roast of Tom Brady and all that. He calls himself.
Yeah. I don't watch a lot of roasts, so I never made that connection.
Yeah, but he's the roast master general. But this one is.
I get it, but I wouldn't have known he's the roast master general until you mentioned it just now.
I remember hearing it in the past and trying to make a mental note, but then when I was looking it up, or actually, as you discover here, putting it in Chat GPT, that came up, that the roast master general. I was like, oh yeah, that's actually a pretty good through line, between roasting and the post office. So, it's truly I don't know if anyone out there has worked with Chat GPT or not. It's like working with Drax from the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Everything goes over your head. Ha 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 ha.
It's like, no, it's like, yeah, no, nothing will go over my head. I am too fast. Like that's the thing about Drax is he takes everything so literal, and when you work with it, you have to be so specific. And it's a useful tool, and it's like kind of like having like a really simple friend, but you have to be, if you want it to do something, you have to be very specific and very diligent and giving them the right prompts for them to do it. So buckle up. If this setup is dramatic, the roast that follows is going to be legendary. So let's head to it. So this is a roast provided by Chat GPT. And as I go along here, I'll maybe explain. I haven't read really any of this. The only thing I did is I had to pare it down and kind of sift through, because it just, when I asked for this, it just unloaded an ungodly amount of of pages onto. It was like the I don't know, Moby Dick dropping like Herman Melville type novel on me as far as the amount of information. And I had to kind of pare it down and get it to this, but I have not gone through all of this. So this is essentially the first time me seeing a lot of this as well. So I'm just going to read it as it is. Walk Like a Mailman, roasted by Chat GPT.
All right,
episode 100 woo of Walk Like a Mailman, the podcast that no one thought would survive longer than the coupons in Valpax, but someone it beat out every single Rite Aid. Okay. The only thing shorter than Jeffro's attention span, is Griffin's patience with the other participants.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
Yeah, this is getting a little deep. Real quick, I've generated, and this is talking about ChatGPT, my digital assistant. I've generated more high-resolution cardboard boxes for you guys than a U-Haul employee during a move-out week at a college campus. You two,
get those tomatoes ready, man.
You two treat a blurry corrugated parcel like it's evidence in a Netflix true crime documentary. Enhance, up the resolution. The truth is in the pixels. No one cares about your package memes, guys. Every episode features at least one of the following: a dog story, an aggressive dog, a dog letter, a sports betting segment named after a type of dog, someone getting bit, or someone almost getting bit, maybe a guest on remembering the one time they got bit, or a dying president. Oh my God. Your podcast should honestly be named To Catch a Terrier. So that's what the intro says. So, well, that's so far, how close do you think that they are to
the dying president? Got me.
The what? The dying
president got me.
Yeah. It's yeah. Wow. Okay.
With their base there.
Yeah. I put it in there, and I asked for all of this stuff, and then it kind of because what it's trying to as far as base all of the jokes and the commentary is off of the descriptions for the shows, and then our social medias, and then also it gave me like a little survey. It kept on like coming back and asking me for more information. I kind of gave it like a couple little more questions. But then the next one here, so we're gonna open up the envelope here. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. The next one is Shane. Shane is on the chair. He is going to get roasted by Chat GPT.
Let's go, Chat GPT.
Yes, roast Shane on the Walk Like a Mailman 100th episode roast. Okay, we gather to roast Shane. the only postal worker in America who sorts mail by day and plots a podcast coup by night. Shane isn't trying to take Jeffro's spot. He's clawing for it with the desperation of a man who's convinced a host chair is some kind of enchanted Indiana Jones artifact. Meanwhile, the rest of us are looking around like, my guy, why? Why this show? Why this spot? This is the podcast equivalent of watching someone call a shotgun for a deck chair on the Titanic. I'm starting to realize that this probably wasn't the best idea. We're like giving exact reasons of why people should not be interested in this show, but I guess we're a self-deprecating type humor and type people on this show. Crawling, skinning knees for the privilege of sitting on the rickety, wobbly, barely functioning throne of a show that sometimes feels like it's recorded on a potato. Whoa. This isn't a power move. This is a damning self-reflection. Take that, Shane. Whoa. Low blow. Every month or so, Shane headlines the wildly lackluster segment called Male Person of the Show.
And you wonder why I want to kill this segment.
I knew you were going to say something right when he doesn't headline it like a guest. He headlines it like he's convinced it's his birthright, and then instantly reminds us he's as inconsistent as a vending machine that eats quarters and no matter what you select, dispenses Triscuits.
Hey, Triscuits are good, okay?
Okay, Griffin.
I like Triscuits.
Email us at walklikeamailman@gmail.com. Out of all the options in a vending machine, would you pick Triscuits?
We want to hear from you.
Yes. Ambition of a champion with the execution of a plebeian. Oh, go.
You say execution of a plea deal?
Plebeian. I don't know, whatever. It's
I don't know what that is.
Yeah. Execution of a plea deal. That's good too. Let's be honest. Shane doesn't want to co-host. He wants to merge with the show, like some kind of parasitic life form on a sci-fi B movie. He wants Jeffro's chair, his mic, his mail route, his je ne sais quoi. Honestly, if Shane could unzip Jeffro like a human onesie and crawl inside him, ascending to podcast glory, it would be a pathetic dream come true. Funny thing, you could only improve Shane. After rock bottom, there's only one way to go. Oh, jeez. Unfortunately, this will most likely end up as the next Ryan Murphy Netflix series. Oh, do you know who Ryan Murphy is? He did the two brothers that killed their parents. Oh, and then he also
Menendez.
Yeah, the Menendez. And then he did the monster movie with I forgot the name of the serial killer. Okay, whatever. That's
the one with Charlize Theron.
Yeah, the one serial killer that was all of the other serial killers, like what's his name? Hannibal Lecter was based off of this guy, this real life guy, and oh god, now Ed Gein. Yes, Ed Gein. Yeah, that's who Ryan Murphy is. Okay. You can actually feel the desperation emanating. Shane is trying so hard to overthrow this show that is starting to feel rude, but not because he might succeed, but because we genuinely cannot understand why anyone would want a job bad enough to contemplate identity theft via skin suit cosplay. Ooh. Oh, so here's to Shane, a man determined to steal a spot nobody else wants. The worst kept secret is that male person of the show is the only thing he's tepidly successful at. Okay. Oh man, that went deep. That one.
Wait! Can't wait till it gets to us. Jeez.
Yeah, if that's the warm up here. Let's go. Let's do mine. Mine next. I'll do mine, and then we'll go to a break, and then we'll finish it up. How about that?
Okay.
Okay, this one's titled Jeffro, the Human Broken Arrow Key. Uh, anyone who's had a broken cash key or a broken arrow key knows that's frustrating. Okay. Jeff is the only man who could walk 10 miles a day, deliver 1,000 pieces of mail, survive 3 government shutdowns, 6 dog encounters, a ghost step, and still be completely crippled at the end of the night because he's too dumb to plug his phone in. Jeez. This man isn't tired. He's a self-sabotage with a satchel. He's got the kind of confidence you only see in gas station sandwiches. Wow, that's comparing me to a gas station sandwich. Puffy, suspicious, and 1 minute away from making listeners sick. Whoa. Okay. If procrastination were an Olympic sport, he'd win gold and not show up for the ceremony. He talks about DPS, still doesn't know what that stands for, like it's a Lovecraftian horror entity. Creatures from the Black Lagoon, never heard of it. But that reversed sequence, missorted double stick coverage, now that turns him into a sweaty, panicked, whiny toddler who needs a juice box and a nap. He's also got 2 modes, over-explaining and loud confusion. No in between.
That's 100% accurate.
He approaches problems the way dullards approach electrical outlets, with a fork and enthusiasm. Whoa, jeez, calm down. And the fact that Jeff now podcasts about the post office is wild. This man went from "you got any outgoing" to "welcome to episode 97, where my emotional support animal is literally a trash stealing seagull. He emotionally bonded with that bird that looks like it smokes meth behind Red Lobster. Whoa. Seagull O'Neill just took taking strays. Watching him host a podcast is like watching a raccoon perform brain surgery with salad tongs. Chaotic, greasy, and a lawsuit in most countries. He's living proof evolution occasionally takes a smoke break. Ooh. Some episodes are like Pokemon Streets, Deadpool and Wolverine review, Supernatural made us angry, the French Scratch and Sniff, and the 1904 Olympics. If common sense were money, he'd owe interest. What? He ruins simple topics faster than ants ruin a picnic. You jump between topics like you're trying to cross a lawn while avoiding sprinklers. His autobiography would be titled, "I Made Sure Nobody Was Looking." And his attention span is basically a browser with 57 frozen tabs, and one of them is playing music no one can find. Jeez. This is the only podcast brave enough to explore the deepest corners of the United States Postal Service. And by deepest corners, I mean whatever random, incoherent ideas Jeffro scribbled on a legal pad 10 minutes before recording. His memory works about as well as a motel bed, and stains motel bed with broken springs, and the stains you fear putting a black light over. Oh. And a type of park and loop that describes Jeffro is a deadhead. Whoa, hey. He answers questions nobody asked, the kind of questions that make you wonder what things he's witnessed, like, why did the penguin go behind Rite Aid? Okay. Okay, that's where we're at now. Let's go to a break, and then once we get out of the break, we'll finish up with a couple more. But more specifically, we will be roasting Griffin on the other side of the break. So,
this is going to be fun.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. Stay tuned for that.
We have a sponsor this week, Jeff, or are we just going to the break?
Let's just go to a break. I'm afraid to ask what Chat GPT thinks about our sponsors. Let's go to a break.
All right, see you guys on the other side.
Thank you, Rusty G.
The LLV.
Yes. So how do you think the roast is going so far?
I'm curious to see what it has to say for Rusty G and myself, because
Oh yes,
that was some low blows there.
Yeah, it's definitely more real than I thought it was going to be. So before we get into the next part here, let's do. I forgot. I was having so much fun reading. I forgot we have a lick it, send it, post it. And these are just real simple, quick ones here. I just wanted to, mostly because of my fault, at my fault alone. I've been meaning to mention a fellow podcast named Broken Wingnuts. And then they also do another show, like a sister show to that, called The Back Road Friends. They gave us a shout out on their show, and they recommended, and they literally said that we need to stop recommending shows because they're going to start listening to those shows and then stop listening to us. If they can prove that that is in fact what happened, we will. I don't know. We will pay per listener.
Well, stop being so nice.
Yeah. But I wanted to give them a shout out. They're kind of through. We met through Cletus Ray, and they're kind of the same kind of concept as far as truck drivers and talking about the wild stories that they face. I'm sure you could imagine with all of the truck drivers that go across America, and they're actually Canadian. So they talk about all of the truck driving in what we call America's hat. So they're like going all across the country. And I think they even talk about delivering to USA as well. But they're really cool guys. They're really funny. It's definitely they got I would say crude humor, but there's no censoring with what they do. So, but they're really funny, and they say things and wild stories that you wouldn't believe. And then I also wanted to give Andy, the FedEx driver. He's the one that's working on my route or doing the same area. We were talking, and I mentioned our show. He and I have been bumping into each other. You could imagine, Griffin, right? With peak season, with all the amount of packages and everything going on. Both of us are running around like the same neighborhood with our. And I mention it all the time. I don't view Andy, the FedEx driver, as a you got a friend in me. That's what I always think of when I say Andy. But I don't view him as the actual threat or the actual competition. Me and him are just in the same kind of proverbial foxhole together during peak season. And I just
Andy Dufresne was a good friend of mine, a fellow mail carrier.
Yes, and then also company. To cap off this 100th episode, and it lines up like this so many times on this show, and this is why I love it, other than being able to talk with my best friend every week. The Mort Dog, he put out his, and you remember that, right? Where he does every year.
Yes, I remember
the Christmas song. He messaged us, and he has, I'm pretty sure, DIY with Mort Dog is his Instagram. By the end of the show, I'll give it another shout out. He recorded his new Christmas song, so make sure you visit his Instagram. But he allowed us, he gave it to us, so we are going to play it at the end of this episode. So stay tuned at the very end of this episode. We will be playing the Mort Dog Christmas song. Thank you, the Mort Dog. And so,
thank you, buddy.
So Rusty G, I made sure that I had to give him some love too, and so I put him into the old Chat GPT later, and wanted to see what it would say about our good old friend, our good old Rusty Dusty. And this is what he says: we are here to roast Rusty G, the LLV, the only mail truck in America that has lived long enough to collect its own social security. Rusty G is the closest thing we have to a living fossil, a sentient tin can held together by prayer, duct tape, and whatever expired fluids happen to still be sloshing around inside him. Rusty G doesn't just start up. No, Rusty G regains consciousness like a man waking from a coma, coughing out sounds that make bystanders instinctively call 911. Every morning when Rusty G tries to turn over, it sounds like a blender full of cutlery. Birds stop singing, children cry, and mechanics whisper, "What's the use?" His body panels are so loose you could play them like wind chimes. He's so old that he dreams in black and white. Oh, that's such a classic. Playing the classics. He dreams in black and white. You can floor Rusty G's gas pedal, and he'll respond with the enthusiasm of a grandpa who stood up too fast. You don't get acceleration. You get a long sigh, a wheeze, and maybe a gentle roll forward if the wind is feeling generous. Rusty G is the only vehicle on the planet that has arthritis. He needs ibuprofen in the gas tank and a chiropractor for the suspension. His brakes don't squeal, they beg. And yet we love him because Rusty G is more than just a mail truck held together by nostalgia and rust flakes. He's a survivor. He's been through potholes, blizzards, heat waves, wildfires, 3 decades of government budgeting, and at least 4 previous drivers who all said, "I'm not touching that thing," before they touched that thing. May the bolts stay mostly attached. May the engine continue to cough out something resembling life. And may he never, ever pass an emission test. Long live Vehicle Rusty G, the only LLV that's both a truck and a pre-existing condition. So that's Rusty G, the LOV. Okay, let's get to the much awaited. Griffin, are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you having second guesses? Okay. Griffin, the outsider held hostage. That's what your title is. Then there's Griffin. Griffin being on a Mailman podcast is like Guy Fieri being the next lead role on Law and Order SVU. Nobody planned it. No one asked for it, but gee golly, it actually put another curse word here that I'm not going to say. We're glad that he's here. Griffin has fully committed to the walking energy, despite never delivering anything except for maybe lukewarm movie reviews. Impromptu movie review? More like impromptu no thank you. Oh, wow. Griffin reviews movies like he's painting a Bob Ross painting that he can only see. Every sentence sounds like, show me the doll. Oh, show me on the doll where this movie touched you. What? Griff puts more effort into being annoyed at the show than most people put into their careers.
I don't have to put any effort into that. It just comes naturally.
That just comes naturally. And he has facial expressions of a man who thought he was going to brunch. Instead, he ended up at a timeshare presentation. He, on the other hand, is being the audience's representative, the confused civilian watching Jeff unravel like a roll of packing tape. What the? How is this burning me? Okay. Meanwhile, The postal disgrace is explaining the horrors of DPS sequencing like a vagrant in a diaper on the side of the street. Griffin's like, oh yeah, that reminds me of the one time I had to buy stamps. Griffin listens to Jeff the way hostages listens to demands, politely, cautiously, and fully aware that this may end badly. What?
How is it burning me instead of burning
Yeah,
you?
how is it? Oh my God, this is the what's in the box? What's in the box?
What's in the box?
Segment pops up so much it should have its own union steward. Every time Jeff says, "What's in the box?" I imagine Griffin bracing like, please let it be something logical, or please let it be some kind of postage. Anything but food on the dashboard again. What? You can practically see him disconnect internally. His soul clocks out while his body pretends to stay employed. Every episode lands on him like a bill he forgot he owed. Whatever the case, it's always something that makes Griffin visibly question why he agreed to sit across from Jeffro. He's basically the friend who agreed to help you move every Sunday and now spends every episode reconsidering every life decision he's made. What the hell's happening here? Griffin looks at Jeff the way people look at a flaming microwave. What? I'm a flaming microwave now? Concerned, but not surprised. I'm convinced if you asked Griffin the score of the game they play every episode, he'd say, absolutely no idea. I'm just here in case Jeff needs to be committed. What the hell? Griffin is an emotional seatbelt on the show, stretched thin, fraying at the edges, and seconds away from snapping. He carries the energy of someone who has the George Costanza save yourself personal evacuation plan for every episode. At this point, the only thing he delivers is the slow, visible decay of a man realizing he didn't sign up for half of this shinola. It's actually put another curse word there. Wow.
Yes.
Wow. How did this turn into Jeff roast part 2? Like,
yeah, I know, right?
Like, oh, let's just take a second swing at Jeffro, the pinata. Jeez. I don't like how this development. I didn't put. Yeah. I put in that you were the mission orientated and the goal person, and I put myself as the free spirit, and then it went off on that, I guess. Okay, and then there's the roast finale. You want to do the roast finale before we get in the last part?
Yeah,
here?
yeah. What's the finale? More on roasting of Jeff.
This is
obviously.
The wrap up. This is the last part of the roast. Your episode titles are the verbal equivalent of those advos you keep mentioning. Colorful, frustrating, most certainly expired, and yet somehow they still show up every week. You've named episodes after baking shows, types of breakfasts, types of lunches, food in the mailbox, bizarro foodies, whatever that is. I'm convinced Jeff is in fact a dog dressed in a human costume. What is happening here? I'm convinced.
Well, to be fair, I'm the one who makes the titles up most of the time, so it is kind of insulting me.
I'm convinced Jeff is in fact a dog dressed in a human costume, trying to convince Griffin to feed him table scraps. You guys have the only podcast where the sponsors are all underappreciated free things in life. Your 100 episodes, and in this week's sponsor is silence because no one has written a real ad check yet. So here's to 100 more episodes of Walk Like a Mailman, the show that proves two things. One, you don't have to be a mailman to put up with one. Thanks, Griffin. What? You can walk like a mailman even if the only thing you've delivered is 100 episodes of subpar content.
Oh,
This roast was brought to you by Misdelivered Jokes, Jeffro's speciality. So I guess we do have a sponsor. Oh man,
that was cold.
that was a little rough. But I'm glad we did it. It was fun. I think that after this we're gonna have to take a really long look in the mirror. But yeah, let's get into the last segment of the day before we start crying here.
Okay.
So get your satchel, remember your dog's and rattle that gate. This is time for the underdog tally mark game of the week. Each of us chooses a team on Sunday or the beginning of the week. They have to be underdogs because, mail carriers, underdogs, makes sense. And it's according to Vegas point spreads and betting lines. That's what makes them underdogs. And then the team just has to win outright. At the end of the year, whoever has the most correct guesses gets the prestigious tally mark on the Fox Black. That's coming up real soon.
How many more weeks do we have of that?
I think 3, not including this week. So this week and then 3 more, I believe.
Okay.
If my math is, I like how you just came along with me on that, and I am the worst math person, mathematician, math expert. Nailed it. Okay, Jeff Rowe's pick last week was Clemson over South Carolina, since we swap every week for who goes first. And then my pick this week is the Bulls over the Warriors. Who was your pick last week, Griffin? Come on. You got this.
Oh, I don't remember which one it was.
Yeah, Lightning over Rangers. I know.
Lightning over Rangers.
That's why I write it down. And then what's your pick this week?
This week, I picked the Jaguars over the Colts.
Yes. And the records currently are Griffin is 21-25. Shane is 4-5. And Jeff Rowe is 23-23, remaining the underdog tally mark game leader. And because I'm leading, I get to pick out of the 3 options Griffin will give me. Oh, by the way, another shout out, Casey Ray. Did you get that thing I sent you? She sent us a screenshot. People are doing this online on the interwebs. Their Spotify Wrapped, and we were her number 1 podcast, and she took a screenshot and sent it to us on all of the socials. We are on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Reddit, we're on X, but she sent that. I sent you that picture. Isn't that pretty cool,
Yes.
Griffin?
Yes,
Yeah.
I didn't know it was Casey Ray's, but I saw that you sent that.
Yeah, and then the results of the stamp, because every year we go through this in March, the March stamp madness. Did you see
Yes.
Isn't that crazy? Well, we predicted that SpongeBob was going to be number 1, probably the easiest prediction made on this show.
Yes.
Did you see that Jimmy Carter landed at number 6? I think there's no respect, but he didn't. His stamp didn't come out till October. So
okay, well, yeah, that's not bad for only having a month and a half.
2 months,
basically.
yeah, 2 months, and still being able to get into the top 10. But yes,
Betty White's still in the top 10 there.
Yeah, and she was at the beginning of the year, I think. I don't know. Whatever.
I thought Betty White was last year too.
I don't know. These episodes are starting to. Speaking of 100, they are blurring into each other more than it used to be. But yeah, they did the results, obviously, kind of like the stamps wrapped, and showed the results. And we predicted a long time ago that SpongeBob was going to be easily number 1. Another shout out to Casey Ray. She purchased her and kept on kept on bugging me. She didn't bug me, but she definitely kept on asking when the SpongeBob stamps were going to come out. Like I was the stamp expert. Like I was the roast master general or something. No, but yes, the new and improved attention grabbing acknowledgement of 10 seconds. Sorry, Rachel, I love you. Yeah, give me 3 topics, Griffin, and by title alone, I will choose the last thing that we talk about today, since I am winning.
We got White Lightning, Unicorn Status, RoboCast.
You know you're not going to get White Lightning by the end of the year. You know that, right? Anyway. What was the last one? You said RoboCast.
Yes.
I have a feeling I know you put that there on purpose because I'm pretty sure you want to talk about it. It's probably the most topical out of the things. I don't know what the other ones are, but let's do RoboCast.
Well, did you get that thing I sent you?
Oh wait, I was gonna say it, but it didn't come through yet. Yeah, okay, I got it. Yes, I got that thing you said. I don't know. Oh, okay, yes, I did get it. This is exactly what I thought it was. So, Detroit has
It finally has the RoboCop statue.
Yeah, and I saw it says here that the guy said that I don't know, one of the comments that sparked the whole thing was like, oh well, Philadelphia has the Rocky statue. RoboCop could totally kick Rocky's ass. Why don't we have a RoboCop? What year do you know off the top of your head, or is this going to be another thing where I have to do research? What year is like the RoboCop thing based out of? It was just based off like the near to future.
Yeah, I mean, the movie came out in 1987, and I think it was sort of based off of a near future. But how many years in the future? I don't specifically know.
Okay, what year?
I don't think it's specifically referenced as to
I
like
know, but
what.
I think maybe they have. It's one of those things where it's gonna give you like an estimate.
It just says in a near future dystopia sort of thing.
Yeah, it says that it by reference it says the early 2000s. So obviously we're much far past what it was expecting our future.
Yeah, I don't think there was ever a specific year though.
This reminds me, and there was something else that I was going to bring up that I wanted to get into this topic of conversation.
Well, can I bring something up about it? Because I thought this statue had already been there for years.
Yeah,
and I went to Detroit a couple years ago to where the RoboCop statue was supposed to be, and people were looking at me like I had my head cut off.
Is that the same place that it is currently?
Yes, it was supposed to be at the Eastern Marketplace in Detroit, and I went there, and the statue wasn't there. I was very disappointed because that was like one of the major things I wanted to do when I went to Detroit was to see the RoboCop statue.
Yeah, so you knew that
I get to see the RoboCop statue, so now I have to find a way to get to Detroit again
just to see it.
Sorry, Rick S., but there's not a whole lot in Detroit to do when you go on vacation there.
I do think that as to be on the same kind of level of thought with you is I would not go to Philadelphia to go see the Rocky statue. I would definitely go to Detroit, and that would be a contributing factor of me taking a trip to Detroit to see the RoboCop statue. I love that movie, or those movies.
Yeah, there's a reason why RoboCop takes place in Detroit.
Well, and this is my kind of take on it. Like in your head, when you think of like a movie that represents a future, like a futuristic movie, not necessarily that it's going to be that, but you have a picture of maybe like what it's going to be like in the future. What movie do you think of?
I pretty much think of RoboCop.
Okay, well, I think of Demolition Man. I always, for every reason, when I always think of like what our future might actually result and end up being is Demolition Man. For whatever reason, that's not saying that there's good reasoning behind it. I just thought that there's, like, and then if like
speaking of Demolition Man, they actually said that they're in the works of making a new Demolition Man movie.
Yeah, and then the Running Man came out recently too, which is funny.
I saw that.
I referenced it we kind of referenced it on the show, but more specifically on our socials.
Because I have seen that movie now.
Yeah, and I think it came out like a little bit before Thanksgiving, so. Yeah,
it was a couple weeks before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that came out, and I didn't even know, I wasn't even aware of it being out. So, but I always think of when people think like the future and flying cars or whatnot. I think like the closest representation in my head of like what the future is going to be like always just kind of comes out as like Demolition Man, because they have like cameras and things, not necessarily cameras, but you're kind of being watched at all times, and if you curse even, like you get a
John
ticket.
Spartan, you've been fined 14 points for saying the non-curse word.
And then I don't think there's cars that drive themselves in that movie, right?
Yes, there
and
are.
then there's even like he gets thawed out and he doesn't know how to use the toilet because he's like, yeah, this guy doesn't know how to use the seashells. Oh,
three seashells. Yeah, maybe we'll find out what the 3 seashells is in the sequel.
Yeah, when we get to the future, maybe our kids will know what the 3 seashells are. And then like even when they have like sex, it's all like VR or like 4D sex. They actually don't like aren't in the same room, or not in the same room, but they're not actually like touching.
Yeah,
and everything is like super safe as far as there's like, I think that there's a lot of but I think like the funny thing is that like Taco Bell becomes like one of the most like classy like Michelin star eatery
restaurant. That's the point. All restaurants are Taco Bell's because they're the ones that survived the restaurant wars.
Yeah, I just think that movie always kind of like plays in my head as far as like what we're gonna be like in the future. So,
but in real life, if Taco Bell won the wars, then KFC and Pizza Hut would be there too because they're all affiliated with the same company.
Yes,
so it would just be all of those 3.
And then something just came to me. Isn't what's his name the comedian that Ryan really liked?
And I hate Dennis Leary.
But he's like they're eating hamburgers down there and stuff, and
they're eating rat burgers down there.
Yeah, that was where my punchline was. It's like, you've never seen cows, right? Like, what do you think you're eating? And he's like, well, it tastes pretty good.
On best burger note, I've had in years.
On rat burgers. Oh, and yes, make sure you check out the Mort Dog. He came on the show. He was one of our guests, and I will pull it up his name here because I don't want to get it wrong.
Well, it's Tim, right?
Yeah, no, I want to give his actual okay. DIY with Mort Dog. So it's DIYWITHMORTDOG. DIY with Mort Dog. Check that out and listen to his, or you can watch his Christmas song. You are going to listen to his Christmas song in a little bit, but you'll be able to actually see the video. It's really good. It's actually pretty well done. It surprises me every time I watch his videos that how well that they're constructed. Way better than I would be able to do. But thank you, Mort Dog. And yes, we will play that here in a minute. If you want to do a guest spot like the Mort Dog has, or have anything for the show, you can text us on all the listening platforms. Make sure to leave your name so we can give you credit. Or if you want to come on, make sure you give us your info. Or just email us at walklikeamailman@gmail.com.
We want to hear from you.
Yes, if you like the show and you listen on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, rate, review, just drop 3 seashells on that subscribe button. It just helps satisfy the algorithm, guys. It helps others find the show, and that's exactly what we're all about. We as you can tell, with the roast, I hope you enjoyed it. If you like the show, rate, review, and subscribe, and I hope you liked the roast. But if you hate the show, then you probably like the roast even more. Thanks for listening to Walk Like a Mailman. I'll see all of you down the road.
See you guys.
It's the moment you've all been waiting for. Let me see if I can put you in Christmas spirit with my version of this holiday classic. You know Nick, Josh, there's Ethan and Chad. There's Carlos, there's Jose, there's Jason, there's Thad, the mailman in Warsaw. But wait, what about Mort Dog? Mort Dog, he is the mailman. He's also known as Mailman Tim. He brings our letters to us. He always does it with a grin. While all of the other mailmen, they always laugh and call him names. because he likes the Buckeyes, OH, and all of them like Notre Dame, IO. Well, it was on Christmas Eve the boss man came to say,
Hey, Mr. Morden, you are the last one here tonight. Can't you go drop off a bike?
Then all the mailmen thanked him, and they shouted out, Yippee! Well, now all the other mailmen, they really wanna be just like me. Merry Christmas, be safe, be kind, and most of all, don't forget to thank your letter carrier. Until next year, Mailman Tim, out.